Here's my attempt to disguise this Kubota disc line as a cloth. Man, my ears are starting to ring from running that thing all day. It's kind of, I don't know, I missed mowing with that. Didn't mow with it the past 2 years because I had the 4430, but I always used to mow with this, and I don't know, I like mowing with it better than the 4430. But they say those Kubota disc lines are supposed to run the easiest out of any of them, and I think the New Holland that I used to pull with 4020 pulled easier than this one because I was having trouble on these hills. But that's the first cutting that we have to mow down. Well, there's like a 2-acre field, but the majority of first cutting is done. And this was actually a more enjoyable custom job. It was big enough that it justified the half-hour trip up here with the tractor. And since it was going to be a lot of roading, what we're doing is we're just going to leave the 4020 up here till we're done, and I'll unhook the disc line and pull the tedder and the rakes up here with the pickup, and then we'll use either 656 or 986 for the stuff we got to do back home. And then once it's raked and tedded, raked and baled, we'll probably come back and get the tractor and mower. And hopefully that saves on some tire wear on some of the tractors. Got another nice day. We just got up here to the Huntsville custom job. Fueled the 4020 up, unhooked the disc line. We're gonna start tedding this hay out. After we get done here, we gotta pull the tedder back home with the pickup, and then we'll hook up the 656 and ted everything out there at home. just had a change of plans a little while ago. I got a call. I've got to hook back up to the disc line and go back home with it and mow some more hay down. So DJ's getting run up here. He's going to take my pickup and the tedder home. I'm going to hook up the disc line and go mow. He's going to ted. So we'll just hook the rake up to this when we come back up here to bale and drive it back up here. It's only a half hour. But I can't just pull the disc line home with the pickup because it's got the 2-point hookup on it. I've seen pictures of guys that have built hitches for their pickups, but we can just use the tractor. We're finally back here to the shop for the day. Ended up mowing everything that needed to be mowed down, so first cutting is done with this disc line, unless somebody new calls me, which as much time as I spent on this tractor and mower the past 2 days, I always like new custom work, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings if I don't get any more. It was getting kind of old, but blew off underneath the covers, and that's the thing that annoys me about this is get in here to your belts to blow that out. It takes wrenches. I didn't tighten those up. So I guess that's one complaint I have about it. You gotta have tools to access things. And another, I noticed them belts aren't that old and they're cracked real bad. So we'll get it cleaned up. Cleaned up and put away. It's actually the next morning from when I did it. I forgot to record any of it, which I just got done. Went and tedded that last job of mowing I did, the 986, and now I'm thinking we can start baling something today maybe, but it's so spread out and different stuff's going to be dry at different times that I'm trying to avoid a bunch of extra running around on the road, going here and there and wherever it's dry, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. We might just have a little extra road time, which I'm just getting kind of old. I'm going to go check some fields and then we'll decide if we need to. I know we need to go rake. It's like 1.5 acres for the neighbor down the road. But then I'm going to need to rake back over here, but it might not be dry yet, so it's kind of a cluster. I'm going to go ahead and get this raked up, and once I'm done raking, I'll come and get the baling. But we got a little surprise. Got our brand new, it's not ours, it's just a demo right now, but we've wanted a rake like this for a while. It's an RA 212 CR 10-wheel rake from Kubota. Like I said, we're just demoing it. It's 10-wheel with capabilities to add a 12 because they didn't have a 12 when I went up there. And this does not have the kicker, but it is at the dealership where if we were to buy it, we would have them install it. So I have not used this yet, so it's still got all the paint on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll see what it'll do. So we've kind of come up with our game plan. We're gonna bale everything that is mowed on Friday. That's Sunday now. It's here close to home. It's still a little green on the bottom, but once it dries, we'll bale it tonight, and then we'll just do everything up at Huntsville tomorrow. And hopefully that way we're gonna be cutting down on a lot of our road miles with the equipment. But DJ's out here raking with that wheel rake, the Kubota demo. And it doesn't have a kicker wheel on it, but it looks like it's at least throwing most of it. So, couldn't be too bad. These are pretty good sized windrows. It'll be exciting to get the baler out here and see what it'll do. We'll get you some video of the wheel rake. I got all the little grass patches, field edges baled at the home farm. I'll check my bale count here. Up to 14 bales. And then I got over here and I baled in all these trees, weaved in out there. Only got one bale out there. Better part of half in the baler, and now I just got the hillside back here. This is the first time I've actually baled in good dry hay with this baler, and it is an animal. I can't believe how well it eats some of these big windrows are in. I always thought the big square balers were the ones that were made for these big windrows, but I think his round balers will take them a little bit better than the big square balers I've ground before. We just baled the first 10 acres of this first cutting. This is not our hay, it's a custom job. And this baler is an animal in this dry hay. It was eating those windrows like they were nothing. So we got 73 bale off of 10 acres. I've got one place that's like an acre and a half, but they're right down the road from where we're going next, so I'm gonna do them. I'm gonna get them done, and then we're gonna go work on our own hay until it gets tough tonight. The one farm I can't do because the owners don't want us working on Sunday there, which is their property. They have the right to tell us to do that. But we're gonna go get as much of ours done, and then when it gets tough, we'll quit for the night. And then that other farm that we can't do today, we'll do it first in the morning because it's grass. It'll dry out pretty quick. We'll get it baled, and then we'll be heading to Huntsville to get that 30 acres rolled up. And we'll keep moving. This custom job, we're on our last little bit there. I already did the part that was all alfalfa and grass hay, and I just got this old pasture I'm doing. I used to kind of like baling this, got a full bale, baling this heavy grass better than the alfalfa because the windrows are so full that you don't have to worry about how you're driving to make the bale right. They're wide enough and big enough that just straddle them, and the bales turn out all right. I'm pretty sure I need to calibrate my load sensors to tell me where to drive, because over there on the lighter alfalfa, my bales they'd have more on one side than the other, and they weren't very even. It doesn't look as nice. Well, we don't have much more left to go. I'd say 4 acres, if that. Out of the 26, we burned right through this, so it's always a good thing. It's the first time in a couple years where we've had this good of a weather window for first cutting, for first thing, and it feels like we're not constantly behind trying to get hay made. I don't know if that's just the fact that we own our own baler now, or if it's just the weather. But I am more than happy with this baler. I'll talk about it more when I'm not busy, because it's actually kind of hard to hold the camera and run this baler. Well, that could have been bad. I started smelling something hot and I had a little fire. It was right in here. This was all built up with chaff, and I don't know if the belt right there was rubbing it or what, but used my pot and dumped on it and got it all cleaned out, and I'm not seeing or smelling anything now, so I'm just looking everything over. I got one windrow left to do, and then I'm gonna stop at his barn, and I'd like to blow it off before I get it wet, but I'm just gonna hose that area down, try to cool anything off. This thing picked up a lot of dust today. They say round balers are good at starting fires, so I'm nervous about that. But see how it builds up on the pickup here? That's what caused it on the other side. There's more to the story. There's a bearing out right there, and that's where it come from. So I got all but one windrow left to do. It's about 100 feet. So I guess we'll go home and blow it off and tear it apart and see what happens. I'm gonna try to hose it down before I leave here if he's got water. We're heading home with it. 10 minutes, so we'll go home and blow it off real good at the air wand, and then we might turn into it tonight and see what I want to eat. But I don't know. We got a lot. It was at the end of the day and we're about done, so it's better than at noon today with everything on the ground. Well guys, first cutting is done and it is in the barn. Other than this, the bearing and the fire, it went pretty well. We got everything picked up this morning. I did not film anything just because we had 2 good days worth of baling, so a couple hundred bales on the ground that we had to get picked up, and they were calling for rain around dinner time, what I seen this morning, so we didn't. I just didn't want to risk getting hay wet, taking the camera and it was dead, so we just picked them up. We'll walk down here and show you what we got stacked in the barn here. We got some stacked over at the other farm in the machine shed, and some in the cattle barn here. And as you can see, we're got some storms coming up from the south. We're gonna pull the barn door shut down here. Kubota rake, I've spoke with the salesman on it, and he's going to come out and look at some stuff we're thinking about trading on it. This and another new Kubota rake, rotary style, like our green one. We're going to try to trade our Frontier rotary rake and the 4640 on a new Kubota rotary rake, that wheel rake, and a Kubota grapple bucket for our skid loader. But did some cleaning down here in the barn, and we don't have a whole lot of bales here, but here's what we got stacked up. They stack pretty nice. That baler makes a pretty nice bale, but glad to have it all in the barn because we are going to be getting wet here pretty soon. So I'm going to get barn doors shut, and I think that'll be the end of the video. It's gonna be cut up video because I just recorded whatever we was doing, so I don't know if it'll be, might jump around a lot, but hope you enjoy what you've seen. Thanks for watching. If you know somebody else that might be interested in these videos, tell them about it.